Alrighty, so I tried making this video about a month ago, and a couple things went wrong. I also realized just how bad I am at talking while holding the camera. So, and I mean, I could just stick it on a tripod, but I feel like it'd be better to have things moving and kind of, you know, close up on different things while I'm talking about it. So, anyway, I'm just going to try to wing it and see if I can come up with something worth uploading. So, I just wanted to compare some of these Godin guitars to the signature guitars. If you're watching this, you might be also a follower of the Signature Facebook page, and if you've probably seen me post there about the Godin guitars and how they're, you know, a pretty nice, affordable alternative if you can't find a signature or if you can't afford one, and I still stand by that. They're fantastic for the money. They're probably the closest thing to a real signature guitar. Especially if you throw in some EMGs or some Evans pickups. By the way, these patches aren't actually stuck on here. I just set them there for show. I didn't stick these to any of these guitars, and I'm not going to. I just thought it'd be a fun gag. So this is the first Godin guitar that I got, and this is, and you'll have to excuse the autofocus. I know it's noisy. That's just the only way I'm going to get through this video, though. But so this was the first Godin guitar I got. It's on the most affordable end of the spectrum as far as the Godin Artisan series is concerned. So it just has the 6-hole vintage trem, and I don't remember what pickups it had in it. They weren't branded or anything, but as you can see, I threw in some Evans eliminators. These are hot eliminators. If I can get this in focus, there's a pretty subtle German carve going on, you know, a lot like what you'll find on the signature guitars. The important thing here is that the bolt-on signature guitars were manufactured by Godin, and these guitars here are using the same lime wood that was used on the signatures, and it's really close to the same body shape. If you look up here, the bevel over here isn't quite as deep as what you'll find on the signatures, and I'll bring the camera around in a minute and we'll look at those more closely, but they have the same aluminum fret markers in the same locations, and some of these other ones even have the little inlay down here, which would have the signature model name. This one's all cracked up. That's just the way I got it, but that one's in nice shape, and I mean, that, you know, that's really a lot like the signature ones. So anyway, I got this quite a few years back. I think it was like maybe $500-600, and I got a set of Evans pickups at the same time, and I put them right in, and I loved it. Eventually I got this other one here. This is a little bit on the higher end of the spectrum, but it's not their flagship model at the time. This one was my most reliable guitar for the longest time. I used to hate Floyd Roses because the only ones that I had experience with before were the no-name Chinese ones. I've since owned official Floyd Rose tremolos, but this one here is even better. It's a Kahler. I mean, now it's not a Kahler. By that I mean it's made by Kahler, but it's a Floyd Rose copy rather than the Kahler tremolos that you'd normally think of. I think this is called a Kahler Steeler. I'm not positive. I've read that this is made of a harder steel than the official Floyd Rose tremolos. I just find this to be extraordinarily reliable. I mean, you probably can't really see it on the video, but it's cosmetically not so great. It looks like somebody touched it up with black paint or something. You really can't see it on camera, but either way, this thing stays in tune like a dream. So this guitar here has an ebony fretboard, and it has a Kahler locking nut, and you just got a matching headstock there. It has locking tuners, shallower locking tuners. I threw in some EMGs that I had. I've got an S, an S, and an SA, and it's just what I had. For a while I had an SPC control in the tone position. My good friend Bill O'Brien suggested that as an alternative to the Rod Evans custom preamp that you might find on some signature guitars. So he suggested that that was, you know, one of the closest things you could probably find, and I was pretty happy with it too. The last Godin guitar that I got was this nice blue one. This one's actually an Artisan ST signature. So if we look at the back of the headstock here, we've got Robert Godin's signature, and that's what that's all about. Blue back. Again, locking shallow tuners. Now, this one has, if I remember, that's a Tremolo 2000 by Schaller. I had some trouble with this because when I bought this guitar, it didn't come with a tremolo arm. Okay, so if you look at that, it's the same mounting system as a Floyd Rose tremolo, but it's not the same size. So you can't just buy a Floyd Rose arm and drop that in. I did put signature style knobs on these. They had different knobs. But yeah, you know, not a bad finish. You know, nice little translucent blue. Again, kind of a matching headstock. And this guitar I have tuned in F sharp standard to play the big money. So that's fun. Again, you can find these Godin guitars pretty cheap. They can go into the thousands, but you can find them in the $600-700 range. Sometimes even $500 or lower. And what's really cool about these, about the Artisan series, is they also have a telly. And it's neat because it, you know, it kind of looks like what a signature Telecaster may have looked like if such a thing ever existed, which it didn't, but it'd be cool. So, on to the signatures. Starting with my number one. This is my favorite guitar out of the roughly 30 that I own. This is my absolute favorite. This is the one that I pick up anytime I feel like playing something. It's just awesome. I love it so much. And yeah, I did replace the Floyd Rose with a signature one that I had. I decided to replace the Seymour Duncan Trembucker with this signature branded Evans Hot Lead E2 Eliminator pickup that I had. And I also replaced the other, there were two Evans pickups like this with the big bold letters, and I replaced one of them with a signature branded one, though you can't really see the logo on camera very well, but it's there. It's just faded. I got this guitar from Lee. If you're a follower on the signature page, you probably know who Lee is. So that Lee, and I really appreciate it. Again, it's my absolute favorite. So I'll just kind of, I mean, you've seen this before. I did that little unboxing video or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, here it is. It's still going strong. And I did manage to find a truss rod cover that almost fits. So that's cool. But anyway, yeah, there it is. So, that's awesome. That EMG SPC control I talked about earlier, that was in my Godin guitar there. I decided to put that in this guitar. I find that it really helps. And moving on over here to the latest addition to my signature collection. This is serial number 1111, the Aurora. If you've seen the old archived signature tribute website, and you look at the miscellaneous artifacts section, this guitar is in the gallery. This one does have the Rod Evans custom preamp in it. It's got the signature Floyd Rose, ebony fretboard, black hardware. I know this video isn't much, but here, you know, hopefully you can kind of see side by side how similar these look. The most important thing is that these are made by the same factory out of a lot of the same materials. I haven't replaced these pickups. They're Godin pickups made by Schaller. I forgot the model name of the pickups, but in this guitar they sound great. Like if I played Time Stand Still, it sounds more accurate on this guitar than any of the rest of these. So it's interesting. I see no need to change those. They're just fine. I know you want to hear what they sound like. In another video, I will try to do that sometime. We can especially compare the EMG SPC control to the Rod Evans custom preamp. I'll tell you right now, I don't think they sound the same. They're definitely a little different. One thing that's nice though about the EMG one is, I mean, it replaces your tone pot. So you have a potentiometer, you know, you can adjust the gain of the preamp right on the guitar, whereas the with the Evans one, you'll have to adjust the trim pots in the control cavity. But either way, both systems are definitely a big help with these Evans pickups, making them a little bit more versatile. But you know, and Evans pickups are awesome as they are anyway, so hopefully you can hear me over the autofocus motor, or maybe you'd rather hear the autofocus. I know I would. But anyway, so that's that. Just wanted to show you the signatures and the Godins all together. If it sounds like I'm talking weird saying Godin, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. My French accent isn't so great, but it's not Godin. So I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. If it sounds strange, that's what that's all about. Alright, well, I guess that's it. So, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Also, speaking of Lee, if you like the song in my intro, that's a song called Pompeii by Lee's band Second Sight. And that's a song that gets stuck in my head a lot. So Lee, if you're watching, thanks again for letting me use it. Also, I'm using another Second Sight song in my outro, and that song is called Lonely Man Shuffle. There will be links in my description if you want to check out those songs. They're really awesome. And check out the whole album. Check out The Unforgiven, and check out Seven Deadly. That's got quite a few awesome songs on it as well. I find Assassin gets stuck in my head a lot too. So check that out. Thanks again, everyone. Thanks again, Lee. And here's Lonely Man Shuffle.